When it comes to being an elite player shooting off the dribble, there's a lot that's misunderstood. The way that players and their coaches would typically practice shooting off the dribble is rarely how shots off the dribble actually happen in games. And because of this disconnect, the majority of players are woefully underprepared when it comes to actually making these shots in games. In this video, we're first going to break down a few clips of players who are great shooting off of the dribble, and we're going to look at why they're able to hit these shots at such a high rate. And then we're going to go through a workout that targets your ability to hit these different kinds of shots and build the necessary footwork and movement adaptability that you need to be elite in this area. Let's get into it. Generally, when players practice shooting off the dribble, they make it very, very repetitive. They rarely change up the type of footwork that they use, they rarely change up how big their steps are, and so it becomes incredibly monotonous. And that's generally viewed as the way that you're supposed to practice. The problem with that is that shooting off the dribble in games is anything but monotonous. You're not going to shoot the exact same way every single time when it comes to your footwork, when it comes to how fast you're going, what direction you're driving towards, and other factors that will change up as well. A great example is Paige Bueckers in these two clips right here. Both clips, she's stepping 1-2 into her jump shot, but the first clip is a really long 1-2, and the second one is a really short 1-2. In this clip, Ayo gets straight downhill into this 1-2 pull-up, but then you'll see in these next two clips, he's taking more of a side angle, having to square his hips in the air. And even though it's the same footwork, these are very different shots. Sometimes the situation may force you to have to take bigger steps. Sometimes it may force you to have to take shorter steps. Sometimes the situation may force you to take a straight on angle. Sometimes it may force you to take an angle going to the side. But if you want to be an elite player off the dribble when it comes to shooting, you have to be adaptable so that you can hit these different kinds of shots. And on top of that, sometimes the footwork entirely can change as well. In these first two clips, Paige shoots it coming off of a normal inside-outside 1-2 step, but she's also able to hit shots coming off of an outside-inside 1-2 step, just depending on what the situation calls for. And sometimes the situation may call for you to have to hop into that shot as well. So being able to switch between any of these three different types of footwork is super important when it comes to being a knockdown shooter off the dribble. And considering the fact that Paige Bueckers was maybe the most efficient player in the country in the mid-range last year, I think it's important to recognize how that adaptability factor likely played a huge role in that being the case. And it's the same thing with Ayo Dosunmu last year. He loves shooting off the normal inside-outside 1-2 step, but when situations called for him to shoot it out of a hop or out of an outside-inside 1-2 step, he's able to do that as well. So becoming a great shooter off the dribble is first about being exposed to these different types of footwork, then it's about becoming comfortable with each of them so that you can seamlessly interchange the three depending on the situation. Players who are able to do this at a high level are what I would call adaptable players, and adaptable players are the most successful in every aspect of basketball, but especially when it comes to shooting off the dribble. So now we're going to get into a workout that's going to focus on building these qualities. More than likely, some of these drills are going to feel weird and really challenge you, but that's a good thing. And as you get more comfortable and you become more adaptable, you'll notice your results in games start to get dramatically better. Let's get into it. We're going to start off this workout with perfection form shooting. So I'm going to start in between the first two hash marks, just doing normal form shooting, except the only makes that count are makes that are swishes as well. Once I get the set amount of makes for that, I'm going to back up and go to the next hash mark, do the same thing. Next, I'll go to the free throw line and I'll go catch and shoot jump shots from there. And then I'll finish up with 3-pointers doing the same thing. Next, we'll work this 1-2 footwork and hop footwork coming off of the catch at an angle. So I'll start at the right elbow with my right foot forward. I'm going to toss the ball to myself and go and do a quick 1-2 jump shot. Once I get the set amount of makes for that, we're going to switch it up, and now it's going to be a long 1-2 step into that jump shot. Now we're going to do the same thing out of a hop. So I'm going to go with a quick hop off of my inside foot, landing on 2 into the shot. And then we'll go the same thing, except now it's going to be a long hop. And then you'll run the same exact thing back on the opposite elbow with that left foot starting forward. Now we're going to repeat the same series except off the dribble. So I'm going to go with a quick 1-2 step pull up, and then I'm going to go with that long 1-2 step pull up, and then I'll do the same 2 out of a hop. And then once you finish it on the right side, you'll switch it on the left side, do the same thing. Next, we're going to work some shooting coming off of a float dribble. So you're going to start at the free throw line, just freestyling the basketball, going about 50% or so. And then you're going to get into a float dribble before you shoot the ball. You're going to alternate the side that you shoot from every single time. So if you shoot going to the right, the next time you shoot going to the left, make sure you change up the type of moves that you do as well. For the next variation of this, you're going to do the same thing, except this time you're going to dip your shoulder out of the float to try and sell the drive and get your defender to retreat a bit before going into that shot. Once you get those set amount of makes from the mid-range, you're going to back up and repeat that series from the three-point line. The most important thing with this series is that you really nail down this footwork, so it's important that you watch and you make sure that even if it's uncomfortable at first, you make sure your footwork is perfect when you start to rep it out. Now we're going to progress forward to working on those 3 different types of footwork that we talked about. So you're going to start at the top of the key out of a live dribble, and you're going to get into some drop footwork into a 1 dribble pull-up. The first type of footwork we're going to work on is this normal inside-outside pull-up. So going to my right side, I'll be stepping left-right. Next, we're going to get into an outside foot, inside foot pull-up or an inverted 1-2 step. So going to your right side, you're going to step right-left into your pull-up off 1 dribble. And then our last variation will be a hop, hopping off of your inside foot, landing on 2 into your pull-up. Once you finish that, you're going to repeat the same thing going to your left now. Now we're going to work this same footwork coming off of setup dribbles on the wing. So you're going to run through these in a series. Your first shot is going to be that inside-outside footwork. Your second shot is going to be the outside-inside footwork. And then your third shot is going to be out of a hop. This is really where we start to build that ability to interchange these different types of footwork depending on the situation and getting comfortable going from one to the other. Now I want to take this up another notch, so I want to give you guys some audio cues to react to for this next drill. You're going to set up a chair or a cone or a trash can or anything to be a ball screen on the wing. You're going to come off of that going into a 2 dribble pull-up into one of these 3 types of footwork. But the type of footwork that you get into is going to depend on the cue that I give you. So I have a couple of files linked in the description below that you can click on, and you can pull up those files when you go to the court to do this workout, and you'll simply let it play while you're doing this drill, and I'll tell you which footwork to get into, and that will force you to have to react quickly and not be able to pre-plan your moves, which is going to make it feel even more game-like. And now for this last drill, we're going to work on shooting out of this double move drop. So this is a very advanced shot and advanced footwork coming off of it. So again, it's important that you pay attention to the footwork and try and do it to the best of your ability before you try and speed it up and go as fast as you can. After my first couple of relaxed dribbles, I immediately get into a double move where I'm getting my feet nice and wide, trying to sell like I'm going to drive. After I do that, I'm going to switch my feet and try and sell the drive going the opposite way by dipping my shoulder like we did during that float drill, and then I'm going to shoot the ball as my defender is retreating on their heels. Once you get those set amount of makes, we're going to add a between the legs to this now. So it'll be the same thing. I'm selling that drive with double between. I'm going to switch my feet to sell the drive again. But then before getting into the shot, I'm going to go with another quick between the legs, anchoring my foot and taking a step forward into that shot. And then I'm going to quickly shoot the 3. As you start to get more comfortable shooting with various types of footwork, you're going to notice your success shooting off the dribble in games is going to go up significantly. So let me know what you guys think of this workout. If you guys enjoyed this and you guys enjoyed the audio cue drill as well, make sure you guys check out my shooting program, the Elite Shooter System, that has even more of these audio reactionary drills that you can do as well. The link to check that out is going to be in the description below. Make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.